WOKD, Winter Garden, Orlando.
You've just tuned into Women, Wisdom, and the Word with your hosts,
Pastor Tehila,
Minister Tamara Murray,
Minister David Williams,
Minister Bridget Norvell.
and remember, you can never overdose on wisdom.
What's up, Central Florida? Yes, we are in the house. You know, he just felt my vibe right here. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yes, we are in the house. Women, Wisdom, and the Word. Hey, why not have a little fun today? How you doing out there? I pray you're having a blessed day. Yes, it's Wednesday. Call your friends out there. We are back on the topic, the subject of expectations. Do you have expectations for your mate? What's going on in your life? We have our guest today. Well, we're going to have a guest today. We also have our host in the house. Yes, Pastor Tehila is always here. Always here. I can always count on her to be here. Say hello to the Central Florida area.
Well, good afternoon, Central Florida. Here I am again. Excited over this radio show today. Yes.
Well, you know what? You could engage in a conversation because we're going to have a few guests call in. Hopefully we'll have, Pastor Kinson. Okay, no, we don't have that. That wasn't for us. That's okay. We're like, they're calling in quick. We didn't even give the number out.
Yeah, exactly.
407-894-1680. That's 407-894-1680. And before we start about our guests, let's put some announcements out there. As you know, that Forward in Faith Ministry, we always have our service time, and it's on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. at the Mission House. We have our prayer time.
Yes. That's our Tuesday ladies' prayer. We meet every Tuesday from 7:30. It is explosive. It is, I just cannot describe it. Yesterday was just an awesome time with the Lord. So we meet every Tuesday at 7:30. If you want to join us at any time, please call Sister Annette. The number is...
Okay, the number is 724-630-8372. That's 724-630-8372. I'm laughing because, you know, Pastor always said that I have her on the poise. She put me on the poise a few minutes ago. Friday, 7:30 p.m. If you want an awesome teaching of Bible study, understanding the Word, and just even prayer. We're all about prayer. Forward in Faith Ministry, yes, we are about prayer. So there is no service that's not going to end without we praying. And if you would like to join us there, we are on Orange Blossom Trail, 11609 South Orange Blossom Trail, Suite 204. That is in Orlando, Florida, 32837. That's 32837. Or you may call us again at 407-927-3202. That's 407-927-3202. We also have a website. Check out our website at www.fifmorl. That's FIFMORL.com. That's the abbreviation for Forward in Faith Ministries Orlando.com. What are you doing for Labor Day? Is your Labor Day full? If it isn't, let's have some fun. Caribbean Sunshine Bakery is having their 20th anniversary Labor Day extravaganza. Now, you know, we're all, people of the faith. We are Christians. We are disciples. That we had a pass, and I have to say that, okay, Stitchy's going to be there. Yes, he's going to represent the Christian community.
Okay.
Yes, so we have Dr. Lieutenant Stitchy going to be there for us Christian reggae people.
Yes.
But I have to say
Watch yourself now, Bridget. Yes.
And Judy Moore will also be there at the Tinkerfield. Open 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. September 3rd. Now, Pastor, I will be on the altar after the service.
I just have one word to say.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Now, if you don't know who Sanchez is, and you're like, who are they talking about? This is a big reggae artist. He's a seasoned reggae artist. That he's inspirational. He's inspirational.
Yes,
we'll
yes.
say he's inspirational.
Yes, we'll leave it at that.
Yes, we'll leave it as that. But come on now, come and have a good time. Caribbean Sunshine Bakery 20th anniversary Labor Day extravaganza, and I believe it's free. I don't want to put it out there, but just give them a call, 407-758-3108. That's 407-758-3108 for more information. Okay, this weekend we cut it down to Friday and Saturday, but preparing to be a wife, you can still register. If you are planning to get married, divorced, widow, already married, need a refresher course. As you see, we're talking about relationships this month, and we'll love for you to be a part of it. It's time for us to get it right. Let's get it right. Please reserve your spot. 407-434-1141. That's 407-434-1141, or you can log on to www.getthe411.biz. That's it. Getthe411.biz. Now, all these announcements are sponsored by Forward in Faith Ministry and also Get the 411. So I want to thank you. And today we have a few things that we're going to be talking about. Again, expectation, and we're going to segue it into health. And, we're just going to have a great conversation. Call in 407-894-1680. We should have Antonia G. Wells call in. We're going to give him free tickets to his play.
Free. Okay.
If you register to Preparing to Be a Wife.
Yes.
407-434-1141, and it's called Why Am I Still Single? Wow. Why am I still single? And we have also other great gifts that we're giving away at the retreat. But this play is an awesome play. It has a little twist on it. Antonia is a husband, father, business owner, author, motivational speaker, director, producer, and a playwright. Antonia is also an ordained elder, preacher at Tabernacle of Faith and Praise Worship Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He served under his father, Apostle Andre Wells, and Antonio Senior, president owner of Cream Apparel, motivational speaker, and Antonio Wells production in Fort Lauderdale. Cream is an acronym for Christian Rules Everything Around Me.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to a very quick break while we set up for our guests. And our guests in the studio, we have a special guest in the studio, also another member. So when we come back, we'll be talking about expectations. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Urban Empowerment and Inspiration Station, 1680 WOKB.
Forward in Faith Ministries, a ministry bounded by the Spirit of God. We are located 11609 South Orange Blossom Trail, Suite 204, Orlando, Florida. Our service times and days are following: Sunday, devotionals at 1:30, service at 2:30. Ladies prayer meeting on Tuesdays at 7:30. Bible study and prayer on Fridays at 7:30. If you would like to find out more about our ministry, log on to www.fifmorl.com.
Hi, this is Yolanda, and you're listening to Gospel 1680.
Are you single, married, divorced, or a widow? Well, Daughter of Purpose and Removing the Mask present their Preparing to Be a Wife Soul Retreat, August 23rd through the 25th, 2012, hosted by Pastor Tehila Gutierrez and Pastor Bridget Norvell. For more information, just log on to www.getthe411.biz. That's www.getthe411.biz to register.
This is WOKB 1680, your urban empowerment and inspiration station.
Arise and shine prayer line, for the glory of the Lord is upon us. Please join us Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Telephone number 216-937-3949. Follow the prompts. Enter access code 395157. Sponsored by Forward in Faith Ministries.
Located at 11609 South Orange Blossom Trail.
This is Madeline Berry, and you're listening to Gospel 1680, your urban empowerment and inspiration station.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Women, Wisdom, and the Word. Yes, we are on to 1 o'clock, and we are talking about today. Our topic is expectation. We're continuing from the conversation we had last week, and it was so engaging that we thought we should continue the conversation again. And as we get into our topic, you know, Pastor, I told you about a website that I'm truly in love with because they talk about relationships. Yesterday I found a topic on, an article on 10 healthy actions to take when you and your spouse are at odds. And the 10 things, I'm just going to run it down. I'm not going to read the subheading, but the main sub headings are: 1, make sure it is what you think it is. 2, discuss the situation with your spouse. 3, question your initial response first. 4, pray for your marriage. And 5, before you respond, start off by telling your spouse how much you love him or her. Number 6, if you are still able to communicate and control your voice level, take the conversation to a new location.
Voice level.
Yes,
I think
you like that, don't you?
Yes, voice level.
Yes.
My voice.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. 7, get over it. I love that. I love that. Number 8, be honest about your contributions. And number 9, initiate the peace by being the bigger person and apologize first. Number 10, look for the lesson and apply it. Wow. So this is a great way to get into our conversation. You got it.
Expectations. I think last time when we ended off, we were looking at expectations, God's expectations, you know, in a relationship. And the relationship that we're talking about is marriage. We're not talking about the dating and, you know, anything that is outside what is prescribed in the Word of God. I mean, there's nothing we can say, really. The only thing I think I am able to have a conversation on is what God says, and how we then distort that, and how we then, turn away from what God says about relationships. And one of the greatest things that I'm beginning to discover is that God has very, very different expectations on relationships, on marriage, very, very different in how to enter into those relationships. And, you know, how do we start off? You know, how do we begin our expectations? You know, how do we start off? When you look at someone, obviously they have to catch your eye first. You know, there's got to be something about them. that will just, kindle that spark in you. Where do you go from there? What are the expectations that you have? Are they expectations that have been formed from your background, from your past, or are you looking at the Word? I think last week there was a question that you posed, which was, would you rather have a friend or a provider?
Yes, that was on the website that we're looking at. Would you rather have a friend, and that's your mate?
Yes,
a friend as a mate, or a provider for a mate?
Yeah. So when I was looking at that, and as I've been continuing to just meditate and think about that, I think when you look at a friend, there is a lot that is in a friend. There's companionship, there's understanding, there is that level of connection, even spiritually, with a friend. But a provider, he just comes in and he puts whatever that's needed to be put on the table, and that's where it ends. So I think expectations, we need to go beyond the norm, what everybody wants. You see, that's what I think. Whenever you are looking for a partner, I think the expectations should be something that God is stipulated. Is this person spiritually, are they in the right place? As it
I like
says.
that.
Yeah. Are they in the right place? Because remember what the Word of God says. It says, do not be unequally yoked. So I think some of our issues and our problems that we have in our relationships is we're unequally yoked right from the beginning.
I would like to comment on that. First of all, I feel so slighted. This is Sister Tamara. How you doing, Orlando?
Oh, my
I'm jumping with joy to be here with you today, as always. But one of the things that we want to address in what Pastor Tahila is saying, if we would just, as always, stick to the Word, our ways are not God's ways. The Word says that His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So in everything, we should always seek what God is saying about a situation or a circumstance, and especially when it comes down to a mate. It's so important because you're going to spend the rest of your life with that person. And, as Christians, we don't want to get married and get divorced. It's very easy right now in today's society for people to drop it like it's hot. They get married. We see all the, So Real TV programs. And we see all the stars and the celebrities and in the entertainment world. My tongue's getting stuck. In the entertainment world, it's so easy to be married 3, 4, 5 times and think nothing of it. But we don't want to live that type of a lifestyle as Christians. We want to make sure that this is the mate that God prepared for us. So we want to always seek God's wisdom. And what we do a lot of times is we want to bring God down to our level, because this is what I desire. This is what I want.
Yeah.
I've spoken to women of God that it was put in their spirit. And the man of God knew that that's my wife. And she's like, that is not my husband.
That's right.
Because that spark that you're talking about, Pastor, initially that spark was not there. But see, God knows us more than we know ourselves. He created us, so He knows what's best fit for us. And sometimes
we don't know what is best for us.
Yes.
I think after 3 years, after 3 marriages, 2 marriages, I think I've did an examination right now. I'm like, okay, God. Okay, let me lay this out. But you said something that women say a lot. I noticed that a lot of Christian marriages, the reason why they don't work. I'm noticing that they're using that scripture, it's better to marry than to burn.
Yes.
And then they burn in that lust.
Wow.
And
really?
Yes, that's the most favorite scripture out there.
Yes, Paul.
I want to, and
the Apostle Paul.
I want to go marry because I have this lust going on. But then
and he's speaking figuratively because God doesn't want us to live in sin. He doesn't want us having those unmarital relationships.
But that's what they're using, and I've known people that 3 or 4 marriages because they met someone, the passion is there, they don't want to sin, they go marry, and then they get divorced. But you said something yesterday in Malachi. What did you say about divorce?
Well, God hates divorce.
Okay.
And it says in the word as well that he hates covenant breakers. So marriage is a covenant. It's an agreement. You see, it's more than just paper, what you sign on a piece of paper. It's more than that. There's a spiritual connection that takes place when you make those vows, when you make that commitment between you and God. You're being committed to this institution that was instituted by God himself. This is the very first thing that he put down here on earth between man and woman. So when we go against that and we break that, it breaks God's heart. It destroys ourselves. It destroys families. It affects everyone. Everyone is not left, untouched by this. But we don't see that anymore. We don't look at it that way. You're looking at me, myself, and I. What pleases me, what pleases me, you see. And I'm also seeing that, particularly for women, we have such high expectations in our marriages. You should be doing A, B, C, D. And if those things are not happening, then I'm not happy. Then I'm entitled to walk out. You see?
You have a right to walk
Yes.
out. Yes.
But it's quite the opposite, actually.
I like that. I like what you just said because, we say we want to marry someone that's we're equally yoked, but some of us didn't go into marriages like that. Do we walk out now that we are here in ministry in one level and he hasn't got there yet, but now you want to walk out of it because he's not living up to your expectation?
That's right. But remember also that when we enter into marriage, you're getting two people coming from different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds. I know that my husband and I, this is a match that God made. It had nothing to do with us, but God brought us together. But at the same time, we have an obligation to work at this. You see, it's just not ready-made. You see, it's not ready-made at all. So we have to work at it. I was raised in England, and my husband was raised in Zimbabwe. So when we came together, we were coming from two different perspectives altogether. Our accents are different. The food that we ate was different. Our family structure was different. I mean, I was raised by my father, who was Jamaican, and my mother was from Southern Africa. So you can imagine what a melting pot that house was. But my husband was not brought up in that. So when we came together, I was coming from one side of the world, and so was he. So we decided it was a choice. It was something that it was a decision, a conscious decision, an intentional decision that we are going to work this out. Regardless of the expectations that I had, I still had those expectations. So I had to work them out. We really had to work it out.
I want to ask a question also, Pastor, because and a lot of people have difficulty with this because they don't really know what to do as a Christian. Should I get divorced? And if I get divorced, is it okay for me to remarry again as a Christian? I know what I did in the world, but is it a different standard now for me? And if I was married and divorced in the world, now that I'm single, what is God really saying for me if he really, distastes divorce?
Well, I think the first question that you asked, shall I get divorced? Is that the first one that you asked?
Yes.
The answer to that, unless if your life is at stake, I don't think there can be any cause for divorce.
I like that.
Unless, your life is at risk. If you're in a relationship that is so abusive that you can die, you can be killed. We know these things happen. So you have to work it out.
And what about infidelity? Is that a reason for divorce?
Remember what the Word of God said. It says that Moses allowed you to give your wives a certificate of divorce because of your hard hearts. You see, because your heart is hardened. We're all at different stages of maturity, and there are different things that causes infidelity. So those things have to be examined. There has to be counseling. Okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to stop you. I like that. I like it because a lot of times we do say we want to leave because he did this, but what did we do? But that's, we do have one of our special guest caller on the line, Mr. Elder. Now I found out you're an elder, so I'm going to start calling you Elder. Antonio G. Wells, how are you?
Yes.
Playwright.
Well.
He's a playwright of Why Am I Still Single? And
I have heard of that play. Yes, I have.
And he also wrote Cream in Your Coffee, right? Cream for your coffee. Yes.
Cream for your coffee.
Cream for your coffee. Thank you for calling in. We were just talking about expectations, and tell us a little about your play.
Yeah, the play Why Am I Still Single? It's a great stage play. It's really, some of the characters' names I actually took from the book of Ruth. So the main character is actually Ruth, and her best friend is Naomi. And there is a Boaz in the story. But in the story, Ruth is, just turned 30, and all of a sudden she gets this epiphany. And the epiphany that she gets is, okay, all my friends are getting married, everybody's have kids, and they're progressing. Why am I still single? So she starts doing some soul searching. She has some pain points that she had, has really not dealt with in her life. But her friend Naomi is trying to help her get there. So Naomi plans this get-together where she's inviting all of their friends that are married to encourage her in her singleness. But unfortunately, at the get-together that Naomi plans, all of her friends that are married, she finds out that they've all been wearing masks, and they haven't been transparent or honest with their single friends. So what ends up happening is she gets distraught. She gets confused because what she thought marriage was, the Disney movie, it really isn't. So now what ends up happening is she hits rock bottom, and she actually ends up having to look up to God because, until, we can't get married or we can't connect with that Boaz or with that Ruth if we're broken. So Ruth finds herself having to put the pieces back together again, and then in comes her Boaz. But it's an amazing story. It's funny, but at the same time, it ministers at the same time. So I'm really excited about the play.
Yes.
Wow, that sounds like something I want to see.
Yeah, it sounds very exciting. Now, I understand it's in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it'll be on October the 20th. We'll be in Miami Gardens at the Lou Rawls Center of Performing Arts. It's actually at Florida Memorial University campus. It'll be for two shows. We have two shows, one at 4, one at 8 p.m. Tickets are already on sale, actually, for that event. If anyone is interested in purchasing tickets, or if they're in the Miami area, they can simply go to www.agwells, why am I still single, one word, .eventbrite.com, and everything is right there for you. You can get your tickets. You can purchase them right now, and they're actually only $15 up until September 15th.
That sounds very reasonable.
Early bird special for everyone that wants to go ahead and purchase their tickets. They're there. They're available. It's going to be a really good show, and we're really excited about it.
Well, any plans of it coming to Orlando?
Well, we're hoping to come back to Orlando really soon. I'm hoping to get up there early 2013. So we actually have some things in plan that we're planning with a couple of promoters up there, but it hasn't been finalized yet. But we're hoping to come back to Orlando because that's my hometown. That's where I was born and raised. So
Really?
Yes.
Now, Tony, I've been knowing you you and your wife for 2 years. I didn't know you were from Orlando.
Yeah, that's my hometown. I actually moved down here. My parents actually moved down here, I should say, in 1982. I'm sorry, 1986. So I've been down here just about half of my life. But Orlando will always be my first home, always.
Well, that sounds very, very interesting, that play right there. And it just really connects so much with what we, this season, the topic of our, of our show this season.
Removing the mask.
And removing the mask as well.
Everything you're doing.
Everything that we're doing, and I can't wait for this play to come to Orlando. I think we're going to just take the removing the mask one of the days, and we just come and see your play. Really, we cannot wait. It sounds really exciting.
Well, remember, we are giving away 2 free tickets to this is the tickets we're giving away if you register to Preparing to Be a Wife. I see Pastor already. Pastor, you cannot win the tickets. Oh, Lord. I don't know why I said that.
I need to run outside, find a phone, and call in.
Not call in. Register to Preparing to Be a Wife. It's going to be a giveaway.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to put some names in the hat, not pastor name.
No, you know what you should do? I think the first person to call in should actually get the ticket.
Yes, and they're going to register to the retreat.
Yes,
and get okay.
Oh, I have to register. Oh my! I have to wait until I get off the radio station, right, to register.
Glenn, if somebody call in and say that you know that voice, right? Okay, don't. Antonia, tell us what made you put something like this together? Because you're a man, and you would think that a woman would put something like this together. What made you come up with the idea?
Well, what's interesting, I was actually at a marriage conference. My pastor was ministering, and Why Am I Single was actually his last sermon topic in the series. So I'm sitting in church. Actually, my wife and I were there. He was ministering the word, and as I sat there, it just caught my attention, and all of us have been there. We're married, 5, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, what have you. I just saw it as remembering what it was like, when I was single, because we have a tendency, after we was married, my wife and I have been married 12 and a half years, but I remember what it was like when I was single, where a lot of times, even in the church, there aren't a lot of, effective ministries for singles. There are a lot of single ministries out there, but they really don't minister to the actual need of the individual. So this gives an opportunity, really putting up a mirror, if you will, to married people, because it's not just for single people, it's for married people. Married people will get ministered to in this way as well. So it's a way of just being transparent and remembering, letting the single people know, hey, I know what you're going through, I've been there. So it's embracing that part of our church, of our community, to let them know that we support you, we're praying for you, we're believing God for you, look to God, and at the same time we'll be praying and interceding for you, because it's not easy being single.
Amen. Well,
true.
Yes. Well, we want to thank you for calling in, and I see Pastor's face. I know that she would love. We'll talk about him calling in, and maybe talking more.
I have got more questions to ask you, so hopefully next time you'll be able to call in again, because I wanted to ask you what are the expectations that Ruth has, from the beginning of the play, and do those expectations change when her Boaz, is appearing? Is there a change that happens there? I think that's for the next show.
Yes, let's do that. Let's
Sounds good. Okay, sounds great.
I just wanted to say, now, Pastor Tehillah, she takes on that role of Naomi. Now, Brother David used to be on the radio program with us. We haven't heard him for a month. He got married. And we haven't heard from him since he got married. Pastor Tehillah is behind the scenes, okay?
Yes. We'll talk about her
Don't
later.
expose my
if you need Match.com, we'll give you the telephone number to Pastor Tehillah. Antonia, thank you so much for calling in. We bless you, and I will call you later on, but that's Why Am I Still Single? Check it out. Google it. Go on Facebook. He's on Facebook, Antonia G. Wells. And that take us back into a healthy relationship from our guests. And our guest today is
Stanley. Now, the second name, I think he has to say it himself.
See, that's why
I don't want to mess it up. I know I'm going to...
Portavine.
No, say it the French way.
Poitvien.
I like that.
Yes.
Ooh.
I like... Oh, yeah.
We're going to keep on playing that. So
Poitvien. Yeah, better than Coachella, isn't it?
I like Coachella.
You like that?
Yeah, I like
Oh,
Coachella.
I know he's listening.
Yes.
I like Coachella too.
If he's not listening, Havilah is.
Oh yes. Welcome, Stanley. It's really great to have you on the show.
Thank
And
you.
I know we're going to have you many more times on the show. And I'm just so excited because you are one of the people that have just been detoxing my mind and my mindset and everything, particularly about health. When this guy, when I connected with him and I began to know him, I just used to cook and eat and do, anyhow as I pleased. But now I'm just being so careful now. Whatever I'm doing, I look at it and I'm thinking, I'm hearing his voice at the back of my mind.
Stanley, did you talk to Pastor about salt?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
Yes.
I'm in trouble. I am in trouble about salt.
Yes.
I'm cutting down. They don't realize I am cutting down. You see, I'm cutting down on salt, honestly.
She holds the salt, the jar or bottle, the little salt shaker.
The canister, yes.
And she hold, and like how you have a chicken bone, she will put the salt. Not how you sprinkle the salt over your food.
Uh-huh.
She actually put it on the individual food.
Wow.
Yes,
Each
I'm
kernel,
telling.
each
Yes.
kernel of rice.
Wow.
I'm telling.
Not each kernel. Oh,
I'm
my.
telling.
No. Central Florida, take this with a pinch of salt. What's being said right now. I am a healthy, someone who's really, really looking into healthy eating.
Whatever restaurant you're at, if you see Pastor Tahila with the salt, call 555-555-1212. Okay?
Well, Stanley, come on, take us away. Just tell us a little bit more about what you're doing and, just looking at the health side of our bodies. We in the church right now, we're having the Biggest Loser, and your wife has been helping us, weighing us, measuring us. I discovered that there's a time that you stop losing weight and you begin to lose what should you call it? Inches.
Yes.
Can you imagine inches? I think I'm in that inches part of
Losing weight.
I like inches.
I like inches too.
Now here's the thing. The Bible says that we're the salt of the earth. That's a figurative way.
Stanley, don't join me with this,
So you mean
with
she's
this
been
guy.
taking it literally?
Yeah, she took it a little bit literal.
Oh man.
So when it comes to our body, our health, the first question that I tell people to ask themselves is, how am I proud of the body or the temple that God has to live with?
Oh,
That's a
stop
hard
that.
question.
Oh, Stanley. Let's make a U-turn on that.
Am I proud of the body or the temple that God has to live in? Because we are the temple of God. The body is the temple. And that temple has been given to us to manage.
Okay.
And the fact that we do not manage it properly, you talked about earlier the status quo, expectation. Well, the only way to grow is to go beyond the status quo. So we're not of the world. We live in the world. So we're not going to look at what the world is doing when it comes to food and habits, because we're all creatures of habit, and we are what we eat. But if we eat junk, guess what we are?
Junk.
Exactly. And the Western world right now, they have, we started from being the most productive country in the world to being the laziest and the sickest country in the world. When we talk about health care, we have pictures of medications, doctors, surgery, hospital. We don't have a healthcare system in this country. We have a sick care system in this country. Because there is no preventative measures that are being taken to allow us a healthy lifestyle. You can only use your health insurance when you're sick.
Okay.
But yet they call it health insurance. The Western country is the most, the Western world is the most chemically infested food production, manufacturing. We're not farming anymore. We are manufacturing food that are getting people contaminated. And the fact that we're not educated about it, we just go about our everyday lives and just stopping at McDonald's and picking up things for the kids and going to what was the I forgot the names of the fast food stores, Wendy's and
stopping at those fast food stores.
Those fast food stores, and we have become a microwave country to where nobody is cooking a healthy meal anymore. The designer created us with everything our body needs to fight diseases. The definition of disease goes as follows: dis-ease, body not at ease. So the minute we have stress in our lives from our jobs and we're not giving our body the nutrients that it needs, then we cannot fight those diseases anymore. And that's what happens. Now, one of the things is, a lot of people do research and get information. But what I found out is that when I was diagnosed personally being pre-diabetic, my HA1C level was at 6.4.
What's HA1C level?
That's what controls basically the amount of sugar that is being linked into your cells on a 3-month period. Okay, just a simple way of explaining it. So the level of 6.4 means I was pre-diabetic. At 6.5, I would have been fully blown diabetic.
Okay.
That was my wake-up call. Now, a lot of us are going to wait till the doctor say, hey, if you don't do anything about it, this is what's going to happen to you. And at the doctor's office, when I went there, he diagnosed me being diabetic. I was pretty much down because I have been following the crowd and doing basically what I've been told to do. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't watching what I was eating. I was, going to fast food restaurants every now and then. And not only diabetes and all these diseases run in my family, but also what I was putting in my body created the environment for it to develop. You see, a lot of us think that, it runs in the family. Not necessarily, because study have shown that environment and our habits are much more influential when it comes to our body mechanism to our genetics. So in other words, if we change our habits, eating habits, nutrition, and exercise more, then we can fight those and also give our bodies nutrients that it needs. We can also help, fight those diseases. So we don't have to be prone to those diseases. We don't have to live with being diabetic. Now, I turned that around in a 60-day period from 6.4 to 5.4 simply by exercise and
watching what you eat.
I don't watch what I eat. See, if you're eating McDonald's, you still watch it before you eat it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
What I have learned to do is to know what I eat.
Okay.
See, there's a big difference.
I need to change that phrase. Yeah, that needs to be, I need to detox my mind with that one. I need to know. Yeah, not to watch, because that's a phrase that's used out there. We throw it about all the time. I'm watching my food. I'm watching what I eat. But do I know
what I'm putting in my body?
And most of us don't.
Yeah, I see the difference.
Yeah,
because you could, like he said, we are watching what we eat.
Yeah,
we're looking right at it.
But do you know what it is that you're putting in your body?
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right. I think 2 weeks ago we had someone who came on to the radio show. I'm trying to remember his name, and he.
Bo Jackson or
Peter from the
I think it's Peter.
It was Peter.
He mentioned about the chemicals that are in the foods that we eat, that they just don't wash out from they take time to come out of our systems. So you can imagine whatever I'm gonna be watching and then putting in my mouth and then in my body, it stays there. It doesn't just wash out, it actually stays there and begins to affect,
Even the water. That woke me up right there, because he talked about the water, and he said that there was acid in the water. And I was shocked. So he's like, you know how much acid you're putting in your body? So there's even a special water he was talking about we should drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I have a very good friend of mine that I actually I met her just the other day, and we became very good friends for the information that we were sharing about the water. And our body is 75% water.
That's right. Yes.
So, and what happens is with the drinks that we're drinking and the water that we drink and having acid in it, it creates that acidic environment in our body, Actually, what you're drinking is one of the worst ones, by the way.
Oh my
The vitamin water.
We won't say the name.
but it says 100 calories per bottle. It's telling me here it is not percent of sodium, and carbohydrates is 9%, sugars is 27%.
27% sugar?
Yeah. Well, so how can this be the worst? I mean, it's supposed to be the best.
We'll probably talk about that in the next segment.
Okay,
yes,
go ahead. We have a caller on the line. Shirley?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I listen to you all on a regular basis.
Oh, praise God.
Wonderful.
And what is the other pastor's name?
Pastor Tahila?
Yeah, Pastor Tahila. I just love her laugh. It's so
my goodness.
And y'all have so much fun.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Yeah. But I just have a comment about what your guest is talking about as it relates to the Affordable Health Care Act that President Obama has initiated, and that was sanctioned by the Supreme Court as being valid in terms of his power to be able to institute that in America. And most people who are opponents of the Affordable Health Care Act, they call it Obamacare, but it is the Affordable Health Care Act. Now, I used to manage the Agency for Healthcare Administration's Medicaid office for Orange, Osceola, Seminole, and Brevard counties. I retired in 2005. But that was one of the things that we were trying to do, is put the emphasis on preventive care. That is the same thing that the president is trying to do in his affordable health care plan, is put the emphasis on preventive care. One of our things was a stitch in time saves 9. So if you do what you need to do up front to take care of your body, your nutrition, if you get the appropriate exercise, then you're going to have less complications health-wise later on. Now, with the preventive emphasis in the Affordable Health Care Act that the Obama administration has put forth, which is in effect right now, prevention. You go for screenings, free, no charge. Your eye screenings, your pap smears, your mammograms, free. That's preventive training. Yes, ma'am, free. I realized that when I went for my annual pap smear, and I looked at, they didn't charge me. I used to have to pay $25. So I went on up to Publix, and I'm like, they forgot to charge me. So I called back to the office, and I said, y'all didn't charge me my copay. They said, no, it's free now. Same thing with your eye screening. $40 for me with my health coverage, free. Same thing with your mammograms, free. If you go to the doctor to get a physical, free. So, you realize savings as well as helping to get a checkup about what is wrong with you so you can take care of it now and not wait until later on. So I agree with what your guest is saying about preventive care, because, a stitch in time does save 9. And if you're practicing preventive care, it costs less money. It really does. I just wanted to interject that because I am in complete agreement. The same thing with the First Lady, Michelle Obama, with her emphasis on obesity in children. A lot of people poo-poo that. You can't tell me what to do about my child and what they're going to eat. Well, somebody needs to, because your children are overweight, they are less active, they are sedentary, sitting at the computer, watching TV. They're not outside like we used to be, jumping rope, skating down the sidewalk, sweating.
Yes, playing double dutch and all that.
So, I just wanted to interject that.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
And if you can go on our website, www.fifmorl.com, and send us a comment on there. Go on, contact us. Send us more information about this Obamacare, and we'll look into it.
Yes, we would love to.
Don't call it Obamacare. It's the
Affordable Health Care. Well,
yes.
Thank you so much.
His opponents call it Obamacare like it's a nasty word,
okay.
but it's not.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, one of the things about when it comes to health care is our health is our responsibility. Every day is what we do in the kitchen. It's what we put in our mouth. What's on the other side of the fork, that's where it starts. Now, the medical, of course, we go to a medical facility to check up our body, make sure that we're doing the right thing. But when you get the test result, it's just basically the result of what you have been doing in the kitchen. Because we are what we eat. Our body needs those nutrients. And one of the things that I personally found and turned to when I was diagnosed with being pre-diabetic is I got on this thing called the 90-day challenge. And what it does is it makes it simple and easy for me to get all those nutrients that my body needs without having to even think about it.
So what you're saying is that even the food that I eat, it doesn't have everything that I need.
Absolutely not.
So now I have to go a little bit further to find out how can I supplement. And these are some of the things that we're talking about. The very first time with a doctor who came here, she was awesome.
Dr. Wilson.
And she looked awesome too. And she was talking about certain supplements that are essential that she takes. And I was saying, well, these things are very expensive. So, I think everybody agreed across the board that you're going to have to pay somehow. Mm-hmm. Either you're going to pay when you are sick. That's when it will cost you even more.
That's true.
Or you can invest in your health now. Now, that is definitely having my mind having to be detoxed. Mm-hmm. For me to get from that other side of the road that says I have to invest, I have to spend money. I've got very young children. But you know what? Because of our time, I'll leave it to Stanley just to finish off what you was about to say.
Yes, because our food supply has been deprived of all the nutrients that our body needs, so it's necessary to have supplemental vitamins and all those things that we're not getting from our food to make sure that our body have what it needs. And that's what I have found. Now, when I first started looking, I was spending a lot of money getting everything separately. Now, what this 90-day challenge is doing is putting everything in one kit to where even if you got the top package, it costs you about $8 a day. And that's actually not and the company and the research and the scientific research behind the products have proven to work over time. And that's one thing. And secondly, you don't have to sacrifice quality for price. You're still getting the quality, but at a very affordable rate. And that's what the 90-day challenge is all about.
You certainly have to come back again.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
yes.
You have to come back.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I like that. Absolutely.
It'll be my pleasure.
Yes.
Well, that's another hour of Women Wisdom in the Word. I know you're saying, how did they jump from expectation to health?
Well, it works together.
It first starts with you.
Yeah.
Expectations first start with you. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy relationship.
I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I thank you to the Holy Spirit for that one. I can't take credit.
Wow.
We want to thank you for Women Wisdom in the Word. If you want to join Forward in Faith Ministry, come by and see how we worship the true and living God. Friday, 7:30 p.m., 11609 South Orange Blossom Trail. And for more information, contact us at 727-630-8372.
724.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Log on to www.fifmorl. Pastor, close us out.com. Go ahead and close us out.
Yes. Thank you so much for just joining us. And for those who are becoming regular listeners, God bless you today. And once again, you can never overdose on wisdom.
Thank you for tuning in to Women, Wisdom, and the Word, a word of wisdom for all aspects of life.
And remember, you can never overdose on wisdom.
Forward in Faith Ministries, a ministry bounded by the Spirit of God. We are located 11609 South Orange Blossom Trail, Suite 204, Orlando, Florida. Our service times and days are following: Sunday, devotionals at 1:30, service at 2:30, ladies' prayer meeting on Tuesdays at 7:30, Bible study and prayer on Fridays at 7:30. If you would like to find out more about our ministry, log on to www.fifmorl.com.